Hi there, and I'm MovieProf, but I'm going to be talking about a lot of things tonight. I've got a few different things that I want to talk about, so we're going to do this kind of like old school style, the way that I used to do this. Actually, the last one I did in May was kind of like podcast style. I did like the Pin Chronicles podcast, and if you watch my channel before then, you got probably saw the HMV Chronicles podcast, and it's actually where a few people kind of came on my channel and saw some of the stuff that I was doing. And after that, I kind of became known for kind of like the Vinegar Syndrome guy for like the really strange different movies. So tonight we're going to do a little bit of everything with that. I'm going to talk about some new things I got. Actually, some pickups I got from eBay, and some pretty cool stuff. I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I got, like my 8mm film collection. I'm going to be talking about some. Again, I'm going to do a kind of retro gaming section of this here because I'm a retro gamer, and that's kind of like the stuff that I do like to talk about when it comes to gaming, except when it's E3. And those gaming ones on their own do not get as many views as my movie ones do, and not as bad as like when I used to do the kind of like the taste test and the beer reviews. Back then, nobody watched those. Just so you know. But I'm here in my sitting room. It's my comfy area. I'm going to go grab myself a cup of tea, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to get into it. I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff. So if one section isn't something that you're interested in, don't worry. There's going to be a lot more to show you guys. I got some stuff to talk about tonight. Talk about some upcoming Halloween stuff that I want to be doing, and how I'm going to be doing my channel for that. So I'll be right back. I really need this tea, or my voice is going to go, and we're not going to be able to do this. So again, thanks for joining me, and let's have some fun. Hi there, I'm back. So I got my tea, and I thought well, first off, what I do is I'd answer a couple questions that were asked on my. So I open up my studio creator thing, a creator studio, and that I, even though I respond in some comments, I'll respond in person, and I'll kind of give the people shout outs if I can pronounce the name. Now, Sean McIntosh asked me, which cartoon fictional character do you wish were real? Well, there's a lot of fictional characters that I wish were real. Now, if it was just a cartoon character, and we're going to go on the way my mind would go when it comes to a cartoon character, remember Jessica Rabbit? So maybe, but man, there's just so many cool characters, like fictional characters. Ones that I like too, like to talk about. There's a lot, like I watch a lot of like, I guess the film noir ones. All those are kind of like, what's the word? Would be a little bit downbeat to have some of those be real, because most of the time they turn out not to go the best. So, but when it comes to cartoon characters, there's some cool ones. Can you imagine Scooby Doo? I would say real, but then I remember those horrible Scooby Doo movies, those live action ones. They weren't that bad, I guess. They were pretty bad. But no, let's go with Jessica Rabbit. Why not? Gorgeous, Marilyn Monroe-ish looking girl, with the red hair, with Alana Turner. Well, good looking girl. So we'll go with that. So Mark Hurst actually came and he because I did the indicator list, Sinbad set. There's actually a new Ray Harryhausen set that was announced actually today. Mentioned that all the indicator stuff is region free. So if you guys are really interested in getting some of that indicator stuff, I really do recommend it. They put out a really quality product. I'll be getting a lot more of their stuff, and they're apparently the region free releases, and they're a lot cheaper than like a certain other company, Twilight Time, that puts out similar releases, and I find them better as well. I was asked about Ripper Street. So Jamie Espinal asked me, what did I think of the show Ripper Street? Now, to be honest with you, Jamie, I started watching it because my better half was watching the show. We actually had the first two series of it. I think there was like 4 that were done because it went over to, I think Amazon did the last 1 or 2 of them, if I'm correct. I'm not quite sure, but I liked it. I like period pieces like that. I like kind of like detective shows. Now, one character, he's kind of the lead. Well, one of the leads anyway. There's more than one lead in the show, but he's the one that's sleeping with the guy's wife. That character I didn't like. Maybe it's because of that, and he is sleeping with the guy's wife, and I know there's extenuating circumstances and before and all that type of stuff, but his character grated on me kind of because of that, and he seemed kind of in your face. He was the American character, I think? But yeah, his character just really got to me. But I do like River Street. I did find it got a lot more downbeat, like in the second, third, late second, like third series, which is good for some shows. Not always the best for others, but I do recommend watching it. Definitely a good series, but a couple characters that just really got to me. Okay, I've been told this a couple times. When I watched Six Million Dollar Man was the very first show that I ever saw on television, back when we had a black and white TV. For most of that stuff, I haven't seen Six Million Dollar Man since I was around 5 or 6 years old. I bought the shows, and I've actually watched more of the Bionic Woman since I got it than I watched the $6 Million Man. I've seen, I think, the pilot movie and one of the other movies. So, yes, Bigfoot doesn't rip off Steve Austin's arm. Steve Austin rips off Bigfoot's arm. So, I've been told several times that I made that mistake during the video. You've schooled me. It's been a long time since I've seen the show, but I'm really excited to watch it again and see Steve Austin ripping off Bigfoot's arm. I hope that makes everything better and that we can go on from there, from that video. Boomstick Critique has a great channel, by the way. He talks about he's in the Addams Family kick right now, and he's actually getting all the stuff. I love the Addams Family. I need to get it all. I had a big crush on Morticia. So, and recently there was like a thing on Facebook that said, which family would you rather live with? Would you rather live with the Addams Family or the Munsters? So the Addams Family are cooler, but the Munsters got Marilyn, and I think I might have a better chance there. So I better have to kill me for that. But it's it's fun questions. But James Hayes mentioning Angari being really good, and he asked if I was going to be picking up anything in the near future. Now, like I said before, I'm getting the movies from Vinegar Syndrome. I'll talk a little more about Vinegar Syndrome because I'll ask some more questions about that. And I just recently did a Vinegar Syndrome video, so I don't with my whole collection one, which should hopefully be up here soon. So we don't want to talk too much about a company. I feel I'm kind of belaboring the point, but I do get asked about the company a lot. They should hire me, I tell you. But the thing is, it looks like I'm going to be going for a weekend at the end of this month to Ottawa, because my better half has a convention going on right there. So I got some free time. We're going to fly out together. I'm just going to buy an extra ticket for myself, and we'll fly. She's already paid for, so we're going to fly out together. And I'm going to see my sister while I'm there. So I had originally planned to do the flea market last week, and there's a big Western table there. I was going to buy a bunch of Western stuff, show you guys some Hopalong Cassidy. Unfortunately, right now, I think I mentioned this in one of my comments to James, that because finance-wise, I can't spend anything before the Ottawa trip, so you're not going to see anything unless my kinos finally come. I'll talk about that in a second. My voice is going a little bit, so I'm going to grab some tea, and I'll be right back to you, okay? All right, so I'm back, and my voice is still not the best. So I got my tea there in the background, my Nalcor mug, place I used to work. So, yeah, so there should be a trip to Ottawa coming up. I'm not sure if I'm going to get anything there, but Kino. So during the big Kino sale, not the one that happened just now, Labor Day sale, I would have liked to have gotten something from that sale, but I can't justify doing it. Not just because of that, but because I ordered 2 packages from Kino. One on the 22nd, right, the day the sale started, and one about a week or so afterwards, because I had a friend named Chris who was thinking about ordering, which got me to to order some more, thinking that he was going to order it too, but he ended up not ordering afterwards. And but he still had some stuff he wanted. So the stuff that you've seen that I showed you guys, that's my second order that I did from Kino. Now I got pretty upset because we still haven't received the first order. And we called them about 3 or 4 times, and even contacted them through email. Now, today, it does look like we're getting some finally, hopefully, getting some resolution on it, and they're going to be resending the original package. That there's a big mistake that got made with like kind of with the tracking number being put on the wrong order, because the second set I got, like I told you guys before, actually came in two packages. There were two that were on back order, Yungari and At the Earth's Core, that came later on. Now the problem with that was that they had taken Yungari and At the Earth's Core and they gave it its own tracking number, but what they did was they took my first order and put the tracking number for the Yungaria and At the Earth's Core package on that, making it seem like the first package that came when it hadn't. These things happen, though I would have liked to have gotten like a quicker resolution on that, but hopefully, I'll get my Kino package soon. You guys can see exactly what I got. It is a bigger order than the first one that I got. We got some box sets and stuff in there, and I'm really looking forward to it because I really do like Kino, and I hope that they get this one straightened away pretty fast. But I was upset about it. That's why I was going to come on here and make a video talking about the Labor Day sale. I was going to mention the Chef Factory sale. I got kind of soured from a bit of stuff because of this, and I decided, like, I'm going to leave it for now. There was a Kino Labor Day sale, which I'm probably sure you guys were pretty aware of. They had 66 titles on sale. And Shout Factory, I think they may still be having their sale going on, which is kind of a back-to-school sale. Not sure if there's any more sales coming up in the near future, though. Again, I have to say, Indicator is putting out their second Ray Harryhausen set that has Jason and the Argonauts, First Man on the Moon, I think, and the one I really want to get, Mysterious Island. That's going to be a set that I'm definitely going to get. And again, if you haven't checked out Indicator before, I definitely do recommend you check him out. Now, another thing people ask me is, I do watch some Netflix stuff. Yeah, I do watch a little bit of streaming stuff, and I do tend to try and buy that stuff in physical copies, because for me, it's all about getting the physical copy. That's the big deal for me. Now, I watched recently. I watched The Defenders, as I mentioned in a previous video. Leroy Green, and I gave a link to his channel in a previous video. What I thought about The Defenders, so I came on here and I talked about it a little bit. I got asked a little bit more about like what I thought about Iron Fist. Now you can see my cat in the background there, like just resting. Well, one of them. So I really like the way that Iron Fist has been done. It was kind of like, he starts off kind of self-entitled and stuff. I think a lot of people that complained about Iron Fist originally, and I'm not everybody, this is not a blanket statement at all. So if you didn't like Iron Fist, that's okay. Everybody's got different tastes. But a lot of people that complained, especially at the beginning, I don't think they'd ever read or seen anything Iron Fist related before. Now, this is not everybody who's saying like, oh, you don't know Iron Fist or comic snobbery type of thing. No, because some people, like Iron Fist was not the best Netflix series. I enjoyed it for what they did with it, but the Iron Fist character definitely got a lot better in Defenders than he was in the Iron Fist series. That being said, before it all started, there was this like, why isn't Iron Fist being played by a character of Asian descent? Anybody that said that really had never read an Iron Fist comic before, because that's the point of the character, is that there's all these other characters and that are just that are basically of Asian descent. He's that one guy that kind of stands out, and because he's not, and that's part of the conflict behind him, and and that kind of like is the whole like kind of the thrust behind the guy that becomes his enemies, because this guy here is kind of like an outsider, a usurper that becomes the immortal Iron Fist. And I think that they did it better in the Defender series, when you see him like kind of he's the more naive character. People kind of see the Iron Fist character and they kind of forget that he like crashed when he was a little kid. So although he's been trained by these monks in the martial arts, he's still like, he's pretty stunted when it comes to like, because he went from being like a spoiled rich kid, which he was, to being like trained, like disciplined by his monks in the martial arts. And he's emotionally, he's still kind of kid-like in many ways. In other ways, he seems like he's really advanced, but it's kind of a conflict there, and they're getting it. It's a hard character to master. I don't envy Finn Jones for having to do it, but I think he'll get it done fine. And some people are iffy on the character. I understand that. It's probably not as dynamic as a Daredevil character is, or kind of like as street as Luke Cage is. But when Luke Cage and Iron Fist get together, trust me, it's a winning combination. Power Man's comic was okay. Iron Man comic was okay. Together, it's like chocolate and peanut butter. It makes that perfect duo. So there you go. That's my thoughts on that. Now I did get to watch The Mist this weekend, which I thought was actually pretty incredible. I really liked it. I know there's some people on the fence. It started out. There's a spoiler for the first episode for you guys. So you might want to skip a couple seconds ahead if you don't want to know this. But in The Mist, the movie, Miss Carmody is a pretty big character. She's killed off at the end of the first episode of the series, of series one, of season one, The Mist, and it was a pretty ballsy move. And I like the way they went with the characters. I guessed the mystery storyline. Well, I figured out the character was going to be kind of the character that was going to be the crazy one. So I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed the first season. I'm looking forward to season two. Me and my better half watched Castlevania, all 4 episodes of that. It was very short, but we really liked it. Voice acting is really good. The animation's amazing. It definitely has a feel of Castlevania. I do recommend if you haven't seen that one, check it out. I'm hoping that comes out on a good Blu-ray release or even DVD release with some nice features. Definitely I'd buy Castlevania in a second. Really, really cool stuff. So there we go with the media stuff out of the way. So let's talk about some other things. So let's go with I've got some cool stuff that I picked up, and I got some other. I'm going to show you some 8mm stuff as well. But before I do that, I'm going to do the retro gaming part because some of you guys don't like that for some reason, and so let's get that part out of the way so that we can get on to all the media stuff which you want. But if you guys are interested in me talking about gaming at all or retro gaming, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I would like to know that somebody actually enjoys that portion of my videos. I work really hard on these videos and not just the movie ones. I work hard on all the videos I do, so let me know if there's something you guys are enjoying. So a while back I picked up a Retron. The original Retron, non-HD ones, hooks up to my CRT TV because I wanted one of those for a specific reason. And I'm going to get to that actually. So I'll show you. Now there are 2 controllers with it, but I'm just going to be showing you the one. Stuff's going to fall over the place. But this is what a Retron looks like. It's about the size of a Nintendo cartridge. It even looks like a Nintendo cartridge. So you put the Nintendo cartridges in there. There's about 20, maybe 15 or 20 of all the Nintendos that are out there that don't work on the system. But I'm looking to get a one that plays Super NES as well. So I'm either looking at probably a Retro Trio or Super Boy S, Super Boy S model, because that's you can take that one on the go. So I never really got the Retron out before or talked about it that much, but so it basically just has the audio video components in the back there. There's no SD or anything like that. With the it's got a it's basic DC adapter. Now one thing I have to say about this here is that this is here's the controller. There's 2 of them that comes with it. There's kind of turbo buttons up here, but which confuse me sometimes. There's turbo slow down type thing. So I don't really use those. I use the the A and B buttons. The D-pad on here is really, really good. It's not too clicky. It works really well. Start and select. There's a slow button on there as well. But I really find this really good for gaming with. It's not it doesn't feel too cheap. It does feel like the plastic is not the same as as a quality Nintendo plastic controller. So it's very lighter there. The D-pad is pretty good though. It's pronounced and it does really well. It's very responsive, and I really enjoy that. Now I've only got a few games for it. One thing I did get for it, and I told you there's a reason I grabbed the CRT one, and that's because I wanted this. My James Bond pose. Anyway, this is the Nintendo Light Gun Zapper. So basically, I love the Nintendo. So this is an actual zapper, as you can see, circa 1985. That's when this thing came out. Really quality made. Love these things here. So if you get one of the games like Hogan's Alley or Duck Hunt or something like that, you could use a zapper gun, to shoot the screen, shoot the duck, shoot the gangsters in Hogan's Alley, that type of thing. But this doesn't work on a flat screen TV, on a modern television. These here zapper light guns, like this one and the one that the Sega Genesis had as well, only work on on CRT TVs, and I do have a really nice CRT TV there, which hopefully will work for. I'm hoping to work for quite a while. So I got this Nintendo Zapper. I picked it up. I got it for a really great price, and I wanted something so I could actually play games on my with the Zapper. I don't have a lot of games for the Nintendo. I'll go over the very few that I have, and I'll give you like really quick little mini reviews of them. So many of these you've seen before, especially certain ones. So I'm going to go over certain ones first. All right. So it's only about like 6 or 7 of these altogether. So I've got the original Rad Racer. It's a pretty like standard racing game, decent enough, but I don't think it's one that I'm going to play a lot. Same with Iron Sword Wizards and Warrior 2. This one I got mostly kind of for the Fabio thing on the front, which I thought was really cool and kind of like it's really a product of its time. It's a fun little game, but it's I prefer like that style, more of an RPG setting type of thing. Now, one that I do really like, and it's a harder game actually, is Top Secret episode Go-Go 13. I'm a fan of the Go-Go character, and this is actually a really good game. It's highly underrated. It goes into different like modes, like you're walking down the street, and then you got to kick and you got to shoot. You can't like kind of crouch and shoot, but the enemies can, which is kind of unfair. But Nintendo games were never like really fair with you. Anyway, so it's a really fun game. It actually goes into like kind of a first-person type of thing, where all of a sudden you've got like a sight on the screen, and you got to move the sight around and like shoot all the bad guys. So Go-Go's trying to get this bad guy by the name of Condor. A really cool one. Again, it's known for like having like a very tame like kind of like allusion to a sex scene with kind of a shadowed figure with Go-Go. I gotta get my drink. That's better. So that's a great game. If you do have Nintendo and you like these type of games, I do recommend it. Next up is, of course, the classic that everybody's got to have if they got Nintendo, and that's the Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. So obviously you know that this is why I got the light gun. I want to have light gun games. So Duck Hunt's a really fun light gun game. Me and the kids got really far on this one. Mario Brothers is a classic. If you've never played Mario Brothers, you're depriving yourself of a really great game. Next up is Jeopardy. I love the game show games. It's pretty much the standard. It is Jeopardy. It's got some great questions, some great categories, and I usually beat everyone at that one. And useless trivia is something that I'm good with. Xevious is an early kind of like a shooter, kind of like a top-down look format to it. A fun game. There's been like umpteen versions of this one put out, but the original still won the best, and I love this game. The three that I grabbed when I was in Corner Brook. First one is based on the 1988-1989 television series Mission Impossible, and there you go, right there. It is actually a pretty fun game. It's pretty punishingly hard. You play all the Mission Impossible characters, and I haven't got that far in it yet because, like I said before, some of this seems pretty impossible at sometimes, but I will beat this game, don't worry. Next up is one that I found myself playing a lot. It's just a very simple game, but it can get a little challenging in its own way as you go through it. So it's Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. Now, there's a few Bugs Bunny games out there. I do like this one. It incorporates a lot of Looney Tunes characters within it as it goes through. It starts out with pretty much Bugs Bunny and Sylvester, and it goes on. You get to see Wile E. Coyote, Yosemite Sam, a few different characters in this one here, and Daffy Duck. I really, really like this game. It's just basically he's going around collecting carrots from different parts of the screen, and he's got to go upstairs and downstairs and through these doorways. And there's a bit of like strategy to it, especially as you go through. You pick up like kind of little power-up things, but power-up like a boxing glove, but it only works once. So you got to be sure of where you're going to use it, and you don't want to make sure you go. It's simpler, but as you go through, as the levels get up there higher, it's a really fun game. It's kind of addictive when I play it. Usually I'll play like 9 or 10 levels in a row, and then I'll go on to like another game. It's kind of like that primer game when I'm starting gaming for the night. And I do pretty much game a little bit every night. Last but definitely not least is probably my favorite game aside from Super Mario Duck Hunt that I got, and that is Blaster Master. I fell in love with this one all over again. I hadn't played it in years, but when I got my Nintendo Switch, one of the demos on there was I think it was Blaster Master Zero, so which is a remake of this game right here. So I played the demo over and over again. I thought about getting it, and then I got the Nintendo and I realized I can get the actual Blaster Master game. So I went to a gaming store when I was in St. John's visiting. Me and my cousin are both retro gamers, and we go out like searching. He was looking for Super Mario Kart 64. He got that, and he grabbed I think Wave Racer 64 as well. And I grabbed the last three games that I showed you there. Last one here being Blaster Master. So that's the phone, which means I got a message, and I'll be right back. And we're gonna look at what I got here actually today. Some really cool stuff, and I got some other stuff to tell you as well. Whew. Okay, so I'm back, and still drinking my tea. It is a warm night out. I'll try to make my iced tea. I got a Keurig there that has like half iced tea, half lemonade, and I did drink one of those Arnold Palmer drinks. That's actually what it was, in a half iced tea, half lemonade, and I really like that stuff. So maybe I'll get that later on. So I still get my caffeine fix, but I'll get it in like in a cooler way. Now, the reason I got into the last name retro gaming before I go on is basically when I came here to Nova Scotia on my way to come here, I bought a Switch for the trip, and I fell in love with the Switch. It reminded me of how much I love like Nintendo, and the stuff that they do, and more than anything else, it made me realize how much I love the older games, the Zelda games, and that. And then when I got here, we had a kind of a slower internet connection. I found myself not using my PS4 very much, except using it basically as a Blu-ray player. I don't like game on computer. That's not my thing. A lot of my friends do that, but I'm not so much into that. I like older gaming and older gaming systems, and I like to play. I like to play on CRT TV when I can. Although I wouldn't mind getting a Retron 5 down the road. My kids have one of those, and playing with that. So Super Nintendo, that type of stuff. That's the type of stuff that I like to play. Recently, at a gaming Facebook page that I go to, they had like a retro duel there, and it was like for a really cheap price. But I'm going like in 3 weeks, so I can't even afford to pick that up right now. But it's not for the fact that I can't really afford to pick it up. It's just that the timing's not there right now. I'm going to Ottawa, hopefully. So yeah, that's sacrifice is okay for that. Now, I did grab something kind of cool. My better half collects the Disney Treasure. Remember the Disney Treasure stuff? So I'll do like somebody asked me recently to do a review of like a kind of overview of my Disney Treasures again. So I will do that for people that never saw the earlier one, and I'll go into more depth, and hopefully we'll be able to like just see some stuff there. And anyway, this fits in with the Disney Treasure stuff perfectly. So along the time that they were doing Disney Treasure, that they were going to be doing Disney Treasures, they did something else. And some of you guys probably know what this is right away. So we got volumes 2, 3, and 4. We don't have volume 1 yet. And these are ones that you do, if you get it, and you're lucky enough to find it in the store somewhere, like in the secondhand store. Or usually this is something that you find on eBay. Now, I think from the 1940s, 1950s to sometime in the 60s or 70s, Disney made a series of like films for the theater, like nature films, which was under the moniker of True Life Adventures. Now, the True Life Adventure films were really cool, and when I was growing up as a kid, obviously I was not old enough to have seen those films in the theater, but every Sunday we had Disney Sunday afternoon, like one for Disney is what they called it here. And they'd show like a lot of these sports goofy stuff, and they'd always show these nature documentaries. They have like Walt Disney come on, and he'd like you pretty much give an introduction, and then they'd show it. And sometimes if it were longer, they'd show them in 2 parts. And later on, when Disney had like a 2-hour show, sometimes we get like an hour long like live action one, and we get like a kind of like the next half hour, because there'll be commercials now, it will be like have a cartoon of some sort in there. But these were the volumes that they did, and I'll show you. So this is volume 2 of True Life Adventures, and this is Lands of Exploration. Now, these are kind of neat, so I'm going to just actually take one of these out here to show you what these guys look like. Now, I know that Leonard Maltin was heavily involved in the in the Disney Treasure line. I'm not quite sure if he was involved in this one or not as well. So you got this kind of the signature of Roy Disney up top there. So this here comes out, and they're done in these mini film canisters like this. So each one has a different film canister. You open it up, and you see Disney True Life Adventures. Now this thing here comes out, and there's a second disc, like it's separated by this here, like cardboard thing, but actually it's really, really cool, really well done. Now, behind that, it'll tell you to lift tray by finger holes to, for a Disney collectible. So what that is, there's a booklet in here called the Disney Passport, and it tells you where the where they were filmed, basically, for all these here, because they're like True Life Adventures. So you get this here, Disney Passport. Each one has one. You open it up, and it tells you like the different ones. So we watched one today. Actually, we watched the Living Desert, which was really good. My better half hadn't seen it since she was a little girl, and it has this like scorpion square dance sequence, which is really fun. And they are like actual like. There's actual scorpions, but there's a narration. It's really kind of cool and cheesy. There's some great music in these here, by the way, that really, really accentuates the mood. And you do get to learn some stuff along the way, so it's kind of cool. And see some beautiful, beautiful nature photography. So we've got Seal Island here, which was the first one we did. That was within the northern fur seals. You got the Living Desert here, which had some tarantula scenes. I don't like spiders at all, so that was kind of freaking me out. We got the American Bison from the Prairie one. The Vanishing Prairie is here. Nature's Strangest Creatures and Islands of the Sea. So there's the different places. And just to give you kind of like a rundown of some of these sets. Here's the thing that's usually on the back, same as Disney Treasures. So it's 2 discs. So basically you're going to get like Introduction by Roy Disney, The Living Desert, which won the Academy Award for Best Feature Documentary of 1953, The Vanishing Prairie, which actually won the Best Documentary for 1954, and Seal Island, which won the Best Short Subject to Reel for 1948. So the first one was done in 1948. The second disc has a bunch of stuff on it: Islands of the Sea, Nature's Strangest Creatures, Prairie Beyond the True Life Cameras. That's actually pretty cool. Backstage with Roy Disney at Disney's Animal Kingdom, Desert Insects, Backstage with Roy Disney, Animal Kingdom Snakes, the Filmmaker's Journal I really like, actually, Collector's Corner, and some trailers and promos as well. So I'm not going to go over each one of them that way, but I just wanted to show you guys the way that these are done. And they're all like limited editions put together. I really like these. One thing I'm going to show you, though, is that if you're a collector of the Disney Treasures, and so they originally meant to do a second wave of these, and you're going to see what happened. So look, they're really close. So that was going to be the second wave of Disney, of the True Life Adventures. It was going to have Destino, which was a short one done by Salvador Dali, actually. There's a Disney short done by Salvador Dali. And Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which did become a Disney Treasure set. And Secrets of, what's it called again? Secret Stories of Magic, which again also became a Disney Treasures edition. Now, Destino did show up afterwards. I think it was on the Fantasia 2000 Blu-ray double set. If anyone has that, they can actually just check that out. But I'm pretty sure Destino was on that. There's a really good place to like search for like Disney related stuff called DVD Dizzy. That when we were searching for we're getting our Disney Treasures collection completed, we went there a lot. Same thing with us here. We would go to DVD Dizzy to find any information about the True Life Adventures series, the Disney Legacy True Life Adventures Legacy Collection. So we have the the third volume here as well, and this one here. Creatures of the Wild has some look at that picture of the lion. It's amazing. Now this one is factory sealed, so we are going to look for an non-factory. Yes, we're one of those guys. Non-factory sealed copy of it, and keep this one closed. It's very rare that we're going to get like a Disney collector's edition that's going to be factory sealed, and we do love these here, and we do watch our stuff. But Hind, she's at the point where if she finds another a copy of like a collector's tin of Disney Treasures. Even if she's already got it, if it's in better condition, she'll grab it to have a secondary copy because they're so cool, and we don't want to end up having ones that get scratched or damaged in the road and not have a second copy of them. We love Disney, and we love the stuff that they do so much. And as you can see here, this one's all, you can see the stuff that's on it. Look at those pictures in the background, it's amazing. So this one again, this has the African lion, jungle cat, bear country. That's a pretty cool one. Olympic elk's okay. Yellowstone story, tribute to the Millets. They did the filming. Cameras in Africa. Just a bunch of cheetah medical exam. Some cool different stuff again. It'll have its passport and that in there as well. Now, the last one that we got is the final and fourth volume, which was supposed to be wave one of different waves. But all the True Life Adventures, at least, all those got released. So if you got all volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Disney's, their Legacy Collection, True Life Adventures, then you have all of the True Life Adventures that were put out. So here is Volume 4, and this one is Nature's Mysteries. Now this one has a couple, has one that kind of has like a story to it. I'm not sure how much, if you remember the Disney stuff, you're like me and you're kind of older, then you'll probably remember the movie Perry. It was released, I think it got re-released a couple times, and I saw it on Disney, on Wonderful Disney a few times, and basically it's like the nature stuff, but it has kind of a story to it as well. So that's here in this set, along with some other stuff. So again, like there's feature films and short films on every one of these sets, some great stuff, some pretty decent bonus features as well, especially when it's talking about the people that filmed the documentaries. That's actually really, really cool. So I told you I had some cool stuff there. So what's next? Well, it's my 8mm film reel collection. So we're going to look at those and let's see what happens from there. So I've been collecting 8mm films. So what I'm going to do is show you what I got up here, because I did this in an earlier video, but that video didn't get put on because I actually didn't upload it. So if you look up there, you're going to see that I have two 8mm projectors. One from the 1950s, that's the Bell & Howell that you see, that's the silver one. And the black one there, that's the Holiday M1000. I actually lucked into those while searching through a Value Village one day, and just some really cool stuff. So let's just look at those 8mm and let's check them out. So let's look at the ones down here first. So as you can see, there's Castle Films and a lot of 8mm stuff. So we got two Woody Woodpecker ones. Now these are actually Super 8mm. Some kind of a early mistake was made. We got this. You can't play Super 8s on 8mm film projector on regular 8mm film projectors. You have to play millimeters. You can actually wreck the projector and wreck the film. So we'll get an 8mm, Super 8mm film projector and hopefully a 16mm down the road as well. Until then, we've got some of these here. And these were a lot of these here are like German 8mm Super 8s. So great to have just for the collectability of them too. So we got Robin Hood. And just open up one of these to show you. You can see it's like a cassette. If you're old enough to know what a tape is, it's a cassette tape, then you know. So it comes out like this. This doesn't come out. You take out that. And the only one that's actually an 8mm, regular 8mm, that we could watch, and we did watch, was the first one we watched, was Laurel and Hardy, or as they're called in Germany, Dick and Doof. See how there. It's kind of cool. So we got a Roadrunner Cody, one Wile E. Coyote, and the Roadrunner. It's colored kind of different. I like that. There's a goofy one here. This is my favorite of all the ones. It's the Charlie Chaplin. And this is actually pretty good too. It's the Donald one. So now those there are all like German releases that we grabbed. Only one of them we can actually play, is that's the Dick and Doof from Laurel and Hardy. I'll grab the other ones from up there, which has a lot of cool stuff. So I'll be right back. So there's a few of these to grab, so I'm gonna, probably should have got them before, but shag it. I'll do it now, and so you guys can see them all. So before there was like the stuff that you have now, there was the 8mm, and 8mm like were shorter films. Sometimes you'll see like the 16mm like short versions of films on Arrows or other like releases. I think the Indicator did them for when the Ray Harryhausen sets. Was it Ray Harryhausen or Hammer did like 60 millimeter films as bonus. Not like actually 60 millimeter, but like you see what they look like in 60 millimeter. So there's some smaller ones here, like I got a Andy Panda cartoon, I think from the Woody Woodpecker show. I got Abbott Costello. I guess this would be kind of like politically incorrect now. Please. It's kind of interesting to see like a time capsule of stuff back then. Woody Woodpecker one, and the one that I'm glad I got this because I really wanted the DVD sets, and I know I'm not going to find them around ever again. So I got at least one 8mm film reel of it. So that's cool, right? And that is Hopalong Cassidy, Border Justice. I'm a huge fan of like old westerns, like Hopalong Cassidy stuff. I don't have any like that early stuff aside from like basically some Mill Creek stuff. But I would love to have more like Hopalong Cassidy, any Hopalong Cassidy and Buck Jones, Durango Kid, stuff like that. My dad had a bunch of it. So these are the bigger ones. I got the Three Stooges and the Gold Raiders, and I got W.C. Fields' The Great Chase, W.C. Fields' Hurry Hurry. As you can see, they're pretty standard here. A lot of these are McCassell, as you can tell, and Circus Slickers. I have another Walt Disney one right there. Donald on one side, Mickey on the other. What is it? Well, it's Mickey's Mouse Hunt. Next up is a Walter Lantz one, and Willie Mouse, Babyface Rattler. This is an Abbott Costello one called Kitchen Mechanics. It's Abbott Costello. Keep your minds out of the gutter. That's a pie or something. And again, this is a different looking Abbott Costello one. Abbott Costello Comedies. And this one is, let's see, Foreign Legion. Abbott Costello Knights of the Bath. Abbott Costello Champs of the Chase. Again, the Abbott Costello Comedies one. And this one is High Flyers. This is probably is my favorite of the looks of any of the, the packaging is an Asterix one. You'll see Asterix and Obelix there. I can't remember the little guy's name right now. I'm sure when you guys I'll put it in the comment section down below. And I got another Dick and Doof, actually this time called as Warren Hardy, and that's Dirty Work. So that's not my entire collection. There's actually two more that are put in these actual really cool like film canisters. So one is a Railroad Stowaways, and the other one is a Charlie Chaplin one called Caught in Cabrera. So again, really cool to have like that part of like film history. I wasn't joking before when I said I'm actually trying to collect all the. I'm actually trying to make a library of all like different media and collect and preserve as much of this stuff as I can. As more like streaming stuff comes out and more people go over and we see like Best Buy and places like that stopping selling physical media, then it's more important than ever to actually grab as many like different types of media as I can and make sure that like movies that don't make it over to Blu-ray or movies that make it with 4K UHD, that they're preserved as well. And even like just getting some of this older stuff, and sometimes you may find different cuts of movies. VHS, I've got a VHS collection as well. And of course, I got a very, very small Laserdisc collection because I cannot find Laserdiscs anywhere to save my life around here. The only ones I got, like a good friend of mine, and sent me a few like Laserdiscs, which I've shown here before, so I'm not going to show them now. But that is my 8mm film collection with the two 8mm projectors there. I'm hoping to find, I'd love to find a CED machine. And a beta VHS, and maybe even like an HD DVD. So I like to have all the different formats eventually. Like that way, if I see something at a really good price, and maybe it's a film that's or a different version of a film, maybe just to get different. I want to have like different collections there as well, and really up my media library, is my physical media library. It's very important to me to actually preserve and like to study film and film history. So anybody that actually wants to help out with that, to donate to the Pin Media Library, please, honestly, seriously, feel free to do so. It does help out, and I don't do a Patreon thing. I tried like not to really get into that so much. And not that there's anything wrong if you do Patreon. It's a cool thing to do. Like, I mean, with like supplement income. Like these, obviously, these videos take a lot of time. This is not, thankfully, this is not like my source of income, or or I would be so screwed. But I do enjoy doing it, and it's a lot of fun to be just here talking to you guys and just making these videos, and hopefully you guys are enjoying them as well. You guys can let me know when I'm doing a podcast video like this, where I'm going to be going to a lot of different topics. Please let me know which ones. Please, be kind, but let me know which subjects interest you the most. Now, I did mention before that I was going to talk a little bit about Vinegar Syndrome and some other companies as well. So Halloween is coming up, and there's a lot of stuff that's coming out there to buy. This is a really good time for collectors. Now, if you're a fan of a George Romero, now it's not a lot of the horror stuff, but there is an Arrow set coming out. There's only one horror title in out of the three of them, and that is going to be The Crazies, the original version of that. That's going to be coming in from Arrow, and that'll be coming in like mid to late October. I think it's late October. So that would be out too long. Like, that's when I'm going to get down the road, because it'll be too far off, and I usually be getting something like that after Halloween. That's usually how long it takes to come for me. Now, there's also Indicator, who's putting out a great Hammer set. I can't recommend enough. They're going to be putting out 4 Hammer Blu-ray sets. If you saw my video before with the Sinbad set, you'll see just what quality work that Indicator puts into their titles. It's really good, and I want to have all their Harryhausen sets, all their Hammer sets. They just have some great stuff. So that's coming out also around mid-October. So that's a good one if you're a Hammer collector. And it has like 4 movies on it. I think there's Gorgon, Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, Maniac, and God, there's another one that's escaping me right now. I could probably look on there, but not right now. I've been talking here for a while, so let's just go on with that. And if you're anything like me and you like the really Z-grade stuff, then you're probably going to be getting the Vinegar Syndrome package. That's the October package with Demon Winds. Got 3 Roberta Finley films is there as well. We got Bloodbeat coming out of that. Oh man, those look awesome. And wish it was we. Vinegar Syndrome actually put out kind of a storefront as well, which looks really cool. And let's see who else is putting stuff. There's Indicator. Sony is actually doing a release for Halloween of 976 Evil on Blu-ray with two cuts of the film, I think, on there. So looking forward to getting that one. That's one that I will be grabbing. Rawhead Rex is finally coming out on Blu-ray from Kino, and it looks like they're really putting a lot into it, a lot of work. There's going to be a slipcover from Kino. There's going to be features, like a lot of features, as opposed to like some of the Kino stuff that you've seen that does that just as a trailer or commentary. Now, even though I had a rough time this sale time with Kino, hopefully that'll work the stuff out, because Kino is a company that I do like collecting, and I wouldn't like to have one bad experience to kind of like take me off collecting their stuff, because we really do enjoy the Kino stuff. 88 Films will be putting out some stuff as well. I can't remember what's coming out from 88 Films around Halloween, but they have some stuff there as well. If you're like looking into getting like some different films and you're region free, there's companies like Arrow, 88 Films, and Shameless, by the way, puts out a lot of great giallo stuff. So don't forget them. They put those out, mostly like DVDs, but they do have a few Blu-rays, like The Church, The Sect, Four Flies, and Grey Velvet. It's the only way to get that one. Just some great stuff. There's been a release of Popcorn without a steelbook, so it's going to be more affordable to buy, coming out from Synapse. Synapse is also finally, they're going to be releasing probably late this year, maybe October, maybe December, or early next year, their Suspiria. So it's too expensive for me to. I love, you guys know I love Argento, and the last time they had one was Tenebrae, and Tenebrae is my very favorite Argento film. I had like a Arrow edition, but I really wanted the Synapse edition that they put out, the Steelbook edition. And a great friend of mine got me the steelbook of Tenebrae for my birthday, and I was extremely touched by that. That was something that it had a great Giallo documentary on there. So if you don't have that Tenebrae edition, I think they got it out with a regular one now, not steelbook, but a regular edition. It's a lot more like less pricey. That's definitely something that can be picked up. There's some great stuff coming up for Halloween. Just keep an eye out for more. There's a Child's Play set coming out. I know there's one that was out before, but there's a new Child's Play set coming out with Call of Chucky on there. That's a new Child's Play movie. I did get to go see a movie, which I'm going to mention right now because it was actually really good. Annabelle Creation. So if you ever saw the movie Annabelle, it wasn't the greatest film. Now, Annabelle Creation was done by the same guy that did Lights Out, and Annabelle Creation is really, really good. It was a really well done, kind of old school, like haunted film with possession and stuff. And I just really liked the way it was done. It wasn't like overly creepy, like scary, but it had just the right amount of creeps, and they were done right. The jump scares that were in the film weren't cheap jump scares. They were done that had actual something to do with the plot line, not just put in there for like just random jump scare. The kids were really good. If you saw the movie Ouija, like the second Ouija film, Origin of Evil, the little girl that in that one, she's also the lead in this one here, Annabelle Creations. She does a great job. We get like a hint of the Nun movie that's coming from Blumhouse. Actually show up in a kind of an Easter egg in one place near the end. So watch again. Blumhouse, they're doing their like kind of their Warren world, I guess you want to call it. You know, the Warrens that did the investigating for Amityville and like the Enfield investigation. So many like different like they're basically doing a bunch of like supernatural films based on them, like The Conjuring and Conjuring 2. Annabelle's like a spin-off of that. The Nun one's coming out. That's going to be a spin-off of that as well. So they got the kind of like what I like to call the Warren world. And it's really cool. I've found them to be all pretty well done so far. Annabelle and Ouija, the first ones, weren't the best. Ouija was actually pretty bad. But I can watch it. But Annabelle Creation and Ouija Origin of Evil were both fantastic films. I really like both of those. I'm also looking forward to the Netflix Stephen King film Geralds Game. I don't know how they're going to make that into an actual, because if you know the premise, that's a challenging book to do. I'm guessing that we're going to see like there was a trailer that came out, and I got to see part of it, so I can kind of see where they're going to go with making Gerald's Game, so that it's not just a girl attached to a bed, but that's a lot to it. It's a really nice premise, and it made into a much more interesting book than I thought it was. But again, I'm a big Stephen King fan. Like you guys know, I like the Mist series as well. So there we go. That's pretty much all the stuff that I really got. Now, I got a few things earlier, and I don't think I showed you guys these, so I'll really quickly show you a couple of things that I picked up a while back. And if any of these here are things that I showed on a video before, I apologize, but maybe I'll show you something that's got kind of a new take to it. So first off is the Kino one that I did grab, and that is Film Noir, The Dark Side of Hollywood. Now, this is an out-of-print Kino DVD box set that came out. There is a Blu-ray set called The Dark Side of Cinema. Not the same films. And this one we got Behind Locked Doors. Oh God, I can't even see it from there. Sorry, Railroaded. The Long Night. Hangmen Also Die. And Sudden Fear with Joan Crawford. So these were. I'm surprised that I guess maybe they lost the rights to this, but they went out of print. So like I mentioned before, I do have Ouija Origin of Evil as well, and the blonde-haired girl from that one. She's actually the one that's in Annabelle Creations. I have, I'll probably show these already, both of the Lady Snowblood ones. I'm actually collecting Enemigo releases, so here I. And as you guys know, we like blaxploitation in this house, so Shaft and Shaft's Big Score double feature, we got those. grabbed up the first season of Empire. I found this at a secondhand store, and it was brand new for 50 cents. So grabbed that up. And a movie that I really like, and I wanted to get it for part of my MGM collection, and that is Rob Lowe and James Spader in Bad Influence. I really, really dug that film when I was younger. I'm wondering if it's going to have the same effect on me. And these I'm sure I've shown already. Subspecies 2, Bloodstone, and Subspecies 3, Bloodlust. Those were brand new, by the way. I got them for $2 each. This one I got for $4. Season 1 of Star Trek Next Generation on Blu-ray. And, of course, Planet Earth. So there you guys go. There's just a couple extra things. I probably already showed that stuff. If I didn't, there's also another one. Jigsaw. And this is actually 2 movies. There's another movie on it called Totem. Kind of an extra bonus feature that's not even mentioned on the DVD. You just got when you put it in, you realize, okay, you can go to Jigsaw, go to Totem, and they're both pretty kind of cheesy movies, but I kind of have fun with them. I might have actually liked Totem a little bit more, and but they are what they are. They're not meant to be like really big movies. They're just meant to be kind of fun, cheesy stuff. So there you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, this has been one of my longer podcast ones. And anything you guys want to know about, anything you guys want me to talk about, just let me know, and we'll get into it. Sometimes I'm going to be coming here to do show you guys new releases. Other times I'm going to come on here. I'm going to show you like some of my retro games, retro systems. Hopefully I'll be able to find some cool stuff in Ottawa. And anytime I upgrade things from 8mm or anything like that, I'll let you guys know as well. Again, I'm going to keep collecting for my media library, just to grab as many different formats and as much as I possibly can. Halloween's coming up, and I like to have a lot of really good horror releases, like different stuff. Some stuff I'm waiting on, but I am getting the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. I'm probably going to get 976 Evil as well. Those are going to be my main releases for this Halloween. I'm going to be going on a whole kind of like a Z grade type of thing. There's a bunch of Vinegar Syndrome that I've put aside that I've chosen not to rewatch again until Halloween comes around. So I'm going to have a really kind of cool, different, cheesy, whacked out WTF Halloween season coming up here. So I'm really looking forward to that. As you can tell, my voice is going. We've been talking for a while. Thanks for coming into my sitting room and sitting down with me and talking and just looking at some games, looking at some movies, talking about some Netflix, and just having some fun. Thanks for joining me tonight, guys. I am the Movie Prof. It's been great. It really is. My voice is gone. It is time for tea. Have a great evening.